What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the video. In this one, we're going to be talking about Mullen again. There's some pretty big news that's very important, especially if you are currently owning the stock, that you need to know. We've got some earnings talk, some reverse split stock, and a lot more going on with what's happening with Mullen. Why is the stock down over the past few days? So if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you do not miss out on any of my future content. Go ahead and check out my Discord server. Link is in the description down below. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. So Mullen right now is trading for 23 cents flat. And there's a lot of news. Is a reverse stock split coming for Mullen? We're going to be talking about that in a second. But pre-market trading right now, first day the market's been open in a few days, with Christmas and all these different things. And it's trading a little bit down, but not too far down, from 23.2 to 23. So looking over the past few days, I want to show you this real quick, and we'll talk about that, why it's falling. But the stock has fallen from it went to a very high, we had these announcements of cars coming, and it went to a high of about 40 cents, past that 50-day moving average, but came right back down to 23 cents. And let's kind of talk about why is that. So why has it fallen? There's kind of two main reasons, and I'm not going to break down this entire article, but pretty much in this article, it says it's not necessarily Mullen's fault. A lot of EV stocks have been falling, such as Tesla, NIO, all of these companies have been falling, and it could be kind of an indication of investors taking those tax loss harvesting advantages and selling on shares that they are taking losses on. Mullen over the past year is down like 96%. So this would be, if you don't believe in Mullen, because every investor is different, if somebody doesn't believe in Mullen, this would be a good reason as to why the stock has been falling, just people taking those tax loss harvesting advantages. Furthermore, Mullen stock falls 18% as Mullen misses IGO delivery date. Now, this is not me trying to display bearish news on the stock. I'm a big fan of Mullen, but if you're going to be a true investor in any stock, you need to know the good and the bad. So what happened was the company had previously stated that the delivery date for the IGO delivery date was going to be December 20th. That is a week ago from today, and Mullen has not provided an update delivery on the status. So a lot of investors are kind of just being skeptical about what is really going on with Mullen. It's closed lower by 18% due to the company's silence on delivery status. So hopefully we can get some updates on this. This would be some pretty big news, and it would potentially bring us back up to a higher price. Now, I want to talk about what's very, very important for you to know is Mullen stock alert is reverse stock split coming for Mullen. So there's a lot of talks about Mullen having reverse split in order to not be a penny stock and remain listed on the NASDAQ. So shareholders have voted, and the vote was between 1 for 2 to 1 for 25. So what this would mean is that Mullen stock would increase and the shares outstanding would decrease. So to give you a visual explanation, if you don't know what a reverse stock split is let's just take, for example, it was a range for 1 to 2 to 1 to 25. I'm taking an example. Let's go with a 1 for 10 reverse split. So Mullen right now trades for about, I just went with simple math, 25 cents per share. And right now there's about 1.66 billion shares outstanding. If it goes through on this 1 for 10 reverse stock split, Mullen will then trade for $2.50, which is 10 times higher than its current price. And their shares outstanding will be 166 million shares outstanding, which is 10 times lower than the current shares outstanding. So there'll be less shares outstanding, but a higher price. Still leads to the same market cap and the same shareholder equity. So it's not going to affect you in that sense. The only thing that's really different is there's not as many shares outstanding and the price is higher. That is what would happen potentially. And as I said, Mullen's main catalyst to do this is to stay listed on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has given the company a deadline of March 6th to achieve a price of $1. If they don't have it by March 6th, they will likely be eligible to file a 180-day extension. So, simple 6 months. If you think about it like September 6th, simple, might not be the exact date, but I'm thinking around that date, So I want to show you this kind of key highlight. March 6th holds significance as that is the NASDAQ imposed deadline for shares from Mullen stock to trade at a minimum of one price for 10 consecutive days. So it can't just be hit $1 and be like, okay, good, we're good to go. It has to hit $1, be above $1 for 10 consecutive days. If it fails to do this, it can apply for another 100-day extension as long as Mullen provides written notice to the NASDAQ of its intention to cure the deficiency during the second compliance period by effecting a reverse stock split. A failure to satisfy this $1 million price or this $1 minimum price during the second compliance period could result in a delisting from the exchange. So this is all to stay listed on the NASDAQ. The company wants to stay listed on the NASDAQ for a number of reasons. Main reason being the access to capital. If they want to sell more shares in the market, it's a lot better to be listed as a NASDAQ company rather than an over-the-counter company especially for somebody like Mullen, who's in these growth periods, has huge catalysts coming for them, and is doing very well right now. A lot of people kind of get caught up so far into the now. But in reality, companies don't 10x in a single day. It's going to take this company a while to get all these orders, to get everything flowing, to get the vehicles out, all these different things. And that's what you kind of have to focus your eyes on, is the long term, especially if you're in Mullen as a true investor, not for a squeeze, not for a risky play, not for a trade, which is what I assume most of you guys are in for. It's what I'm in for. I believe in the company, and that is why you got to kind of depict the long term. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about is Mullen's earnings. Earnings are supposed to come out very soon. A lot of talk is about them coming out today, but I haven't heard anything from Mullen, so I'm kind of not assuming that it's going to come out today on December 27th, but on Yahoo Finance, earnings date about December 27th to January 2nd. Going to be very interesting to see how these earnings turn out, but to show you a few articles, Mullen Q4 earnings preview, here's what to expect. I mean, this was posted yesterday, but Mullen's expected to report its Q4 financial results on December 27th. We'll see how that goes. I don't think it'll actually happen. The company has been able to reduce its debt burden considerably over the past quarter, which is likely to support its profitability. Also, strong orders for the Mullen 5 SUV, along with efforts to expand the company's presence in several domestic and international markets, might have benefited the company performance in the upcoming quarter. Also, as you already probably know, Mullen was able to recently bag a purchase order worth $200 million for 6,000 Class 1 EV cargo vans. Furthermore, Mullen's acquisition of Electric Last Mile Solutions is another positive growth catalyst. The company plans to use this acquired company manufacturing plant to produce the Mullen 5 SUV and the Bollinger B1 and B2 platforms. Finally, it has partnered with Loop Global, an EV charging solution provider. Other companies would not be working with Mullen if they thought it was a crappy company, like Loop Global. That's a huge catalyst. And then with the acquisition to produce more vehicles, with that demand, because EVs are in huge demand, especially just as time goes on, it seems like EVs are just going to take more and more market share from the overall car market in general. So this is going to be a massive thing. Remember, this company right now currently trades on a market cap of $387 million, which is very, very small. I mean, you look at companies like Tesla. I'll just go ahead and pull Tesla up right now. I mean, it's been up to $1 trillion, but Tesla's market cap right now is absolutely massive, $385 billion. That's 100 times more than what Mullen is right now. So believe in the future. That's how I'm playing it. And furthermore, to talk about the earnings, Mullen has this is on NASDAQ's website. Mullen has a high earnings quality ranking for the third consecutive week. Earnings quality refers to the extent to which current earnings predict future earnings. High quality earnings are expected to persist, while low quality earnings do not. So keep that in mind. And lastly, here's kind of how their earnings revenue has been. For Q2 2022, they had negative 63 cents in earnings per share. And for Q3, they had negative 16 cents. Revenues, as we can see, revenue was still not the best, but I have huge expectations for Mullen in the future. I do believe this could be a big one, but remember, there's always risk in the market. I could be completely wrong. Just because I make YouTube videos does not mean I'm always right. Please always do your own research and not just buy a stock because somebody told you they're buying or they told you to buy a stock. I'm not a financial advisor, but everybody, that is going to wrap it up for this video. So if you did enjoy it, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications so you do not miss out on any of my future content. Thank you again for making it to the end of this one, and I will see you at the next video.